Hey up guys, what's going on and welcome back to the Atletico Madrid beta save where I've done goofed already. I got halfway through the first match, realised the microphone wasn't on. So I decided to play through till the transfer window was shut instead. Now the Champions League group has been drawn. We have Lille, Salzburg and Juventus. A decent group. Very much, I feel like, very confident we're going to be able to get through it, whether we're first or second. Not entirely certain right now, but I feel like we're very confident in getting through that, and that's mostly because well, we have acquired Salzburg's most lethal player. I'll get onto that later on. But first things foremost, we got absolutely FM'd out of the first game. I'm not going to lie. They had one shot on target and it went in. Welcome back to Football Manager. 2-1 against Sociedad, so that's all fine and dandy. Away from home, I feel like we can get back onto the situation. Now, because the transfer lists are all conflated by the pre-existing ones, I'm just going to run through the players I have acquired and sent out on this list here. Now, the main thing here, as you can see it at the very top, I did manage to send out Diego Costa on loan, which has freed up £275,000 a week, which is massive. Essentially, he has funded the entire wages of the 4 players I've managed to bring in as a result of that, as a result of reducing the rewards at the end of the season, because that was basically another way of getting any other party funds. Nobody wanted to be sold. There was a few little fringe players and backup team players, I think, that went out as well. But it has allowed us to basically get Jordi Alba. We didn't pay a massive amount up front for him. It's a lot over time, and there's a big whopper bit in case he plays 50 games for us. But yeah, we've managed to acquire Jordi Alba. Absolute steal. I think we only paid about 5 million up front, which was about 2/3 of what we saved from reducing the rewards. Thereabouts, I think. Somewhere around that. The rest of it went into the other 2 players and what we managed to shift over from the remainder of the 275 we got from Diego Costa. There was a little bit of wage room, not a lot. I think it wasn't a great deal. I think we could have maybe got Player Maria's wages in and Doku's starting wage with what was left over. I can't remember. It was low 5 digits at the very least. I think it was low 5 digits. I think we could have got at the very least the wages for those guys, but not obviously the upfront. There was nothing really to play with in terms of standing up front transfer budget at the very least. But Jordi Alba solved the left back problem in one go, and in a way he can actually cover attacking midfield left if necessary as well. So that is incredibly useful. Frankly, I'm not sure I could have done better than this with the amount of wages that I had available to me. I could have maybe tried to get someone in on loan and sign them permanently at the end of next year. I'm not going to lie, to try to do it with him. But got away with it. Considering I think it was about 5 million-ish up front, we have absolutely nailed this one. I looked at Barcelona. I don't know why they transfer listed him. I have generally no idea why they transferred him. They didn't bring anyone else in to compare with him. They're using Junior Firpo, who is not as good as Jordi Alba at this stage of the game. So no idea why they transfer listed him, if I'm completely honest. But he is absolutely going to do the job for the sea. Full star better than Hermoso, who we can now allow to play as a backup left centre back as well as the backup left back. Not sure what we're going to do with Lodi, but he's not on a huge amount of wages. We'll cope. The other main one is, of course, as I teased a little bit, it's Erling Haaland. We are basically loaning him. So we're paying 17 grand a week. So we've essentially paid nothing for him right now, and we're going to pay 15 million next year. I think we maybe could have done less as a permanent transfer next year. I think we could have got away with it considering I said 15 million. I hedged it assuming that they were going to want more than the 6.5 up front. They accepted 15 million mandatory next year straight off the bat. So alright, fair enough. Okay, that'll do then. We're just paying him 17 grand a week for now. I think his wage when he joins next year will be about 40 grand or something like that. It's not a lot, 45. It's not a huge amount either, so I think we've done an absolute steal here. Physical's off the chart. Finishing and composure are better than Alvaro Morata's. Don't know why I decided to say his full name. Other technicals a little bit lacking at this point, but he is a tall lad. His heading probably will get a little bit better. And his mentals will obviously get a little bit better as he gets a little bit older. So, yes, that's that one solved at the very least. I will try and get rid of Diego Costa permanently next time, I think. Just because 31-year-old on 275 grand a week. Nope. Actually, I just realised, slight spoiler on this page already. of one of the other players we brought in. He's on 20 grand a week. I think this was basically just squeezing out what we had at the very, very, very left of. We've got very little wiggle room. We've got just about to. I think we've got just about enough to maybe accommodate either Doku or Maria's boosted wages if they play enough games for us in 1 year. That's just spoiled the fourth signing, by the way, as well. But yeah, obviously a player that we all know and well will develop into a 4 or 5 star player in time. He's not actually that too shabby. Obviously, the mentals are way off right now, but technically, physically, in the key points, he's actually got quite a lot for us as things go. And actually, he can play striker if necessary as well. Clay Maria's the other one. We know he develops too. Slightly more well-rounded, but a little bit off the pace, of course, as well at this stage. But we know he can definitely develop too. So, we paid a pittance for Maria in general. He's on 6 grand a week. We paid about $1 million up front. So, we're all good. We're all good on that front. That was the toughest challenge I've ever had to do. It was like doing a puzzle, working out, what can we squeeze in by getting rid of Diego Costa. I did try to shift Vitolo as well. I may have accidentally done a masterclass with Vitolo. I didn't want to get rid of him, but I tried to shift him off, and then I accidentally promised I wouldn't sell him. Then I kept trying to sell him, and then Manchester United came in with a, frankly, insulting offer, and I rejected it, so I think I have inevitably made him happier than he was when he started, by accident, and haven't sold him. But if I could get rid of him, because I think he's basically the only one who isn't as good as his wages are at this point. Yes, his wages are insane. Yes, his wages are insane. But they are almost as good as what they're... I mean, looking at that now, yeah. I feel very, very reticent to pay anyone that amount of wages. But if you're going to, then I think these two are almost worth it. I'm very surprised no one came in for Thomas Lemar. People were sniffing around that one. But obviously he's the first choice left winger. But now we have actual players we can stick in there that we know will develop if they get injured. So that's the main thing. The board are pleased with our performance in the transfer market. Whew. Lovely. Yeah, they're concerned about that 1-1 draw. I'm concerned by it, but I think that's just Football Manager. One shot, 1 goal. The good news is we are 100% for this one, though. We do get to have Haaland on the bench, and we do have obviously a little bit more wiggle room now in terms of bench players. We can have Play Maria if we want. Obviously, Play Maria is nowhere near good enough just yet, but Vitolo will go on the bench there. Party is the one that makes way. We do have 2 right backs currently out, but thank God for some reason we have 3 right backs. No idea why that's the thing, but there are 3 right backs. That'll do us for now. Weirdly, none of the defensive players, apart from Mimoso, centre backs, none of the centre backs can actually play anywhere other than centre back, which is really weird. Usually one of them can do right back, but okay, we'll just have to deal with it. But like I say, the good news is Alba can step into that left wing if we want. We do have Maria who can step into the attacking midfielder role. Some of the midfield ones are iffy in terms of competency in that role, but they can definitely do it if we give them enough time. But that's fine. So Trippier is our only right back right now. This formation and instructions, the formation instructions are basically what I can remember what the Burnley Twitch save ended as. The one that basically got us into third with a potential of winning it. The season didn't end, unfortunately. The beta came out before I could finish that off, annoyingly. But that's basically the formation that allowed Burnley to go on a 13 winning game run, unbeaten in about 20 or whatever it was, something stupid. So hopefully this can work for us as well, with an even better side in the form of Atletico Madrid. Although, of course, the squad at that point of the save with Burnley was almost comparable. So yeah, essentially getting rid of one insanely high wage player has allowed us to get the squad depth that we needed. Well, team talks could have gone a little bit better. I'm still getting used to not... Oh god, I need to turn the tunnel thing off for us. It just launches straight in right now, but there is a highlight after a minute. Yes, so basically 1 win, 1 draw so far. I can't believe we got FM'd out the first match we played. I was so frustrated by that. I wish the microphone was on and I could have shown you that, because it was genuinely ridiculous. But that's gone all the way across to Trippier on the opposite side. So glad. This is looking promising already. Morata's missed. Oh no, it's cannoned off the defender. I'm not entirely certain if there was a shot involved there or not. It's not gone down as a block shot, so I'm not entirely certain where this highlight is going. Oh! highlights from corners are no longer restricted to highlights that start with corners. Okay, that's something to know going forward. I was sort of not really caring about that because if there's a corner that's resulting from a existing highlight, it never really goes to anything. But apparently that's now changed, and we can see that first one cannon off the upright, and Morata has made it 3 goals and 3. In fairness, his strange lethality in Football Manager continues for us here. He was weirdly lethal for Chelsea in the Burnley save on Twitch for us. He was doing 20-plus goal seasons every year after he returned from loan because the loan mechanics for his situation with Atletico weren't what they are this year, basically. So he was still with Chelsea in that, and he was banging them in just for the fun, really, in that save. And he's got 3 and 3 for us here. Now, we do obviously have to make the slight acceptance that the rest of La Liga aren't necessarily up to the same calibre as the Premier League are, but still, there are some very, very good sides in La Liga, and, well, so far, things are going okay for us in this particular match. How many long shots have we had out of the 7? 3. We do have work ball into the box already on, though, so it's not like I can tell them, can you please stop banging them in from outside the area? That'll be lovely. Although here comes Saul, who bangs it in from outside the area. Never mind. Ignore the instruction. You can just do what you like. It's fine. 2-0. This one's going slightly better than the first game of the season. I suppose it does help when we have actual, natural attacking midfield players on the pitch rather than shoving, well, that guy actually, Saul, into the attacking midfielder role. Oblak's annoyingly complacent in every match as well, which is not great. He was one of the, understandably, a lot of players got a little bit moody, then I tried to transfer, like Diego Costa. I think we've got to a good compromise. By the way, Costa does have an optional future fee of 40 million, so if they wish to accept that, that would be wonderful, because it would at very least offset the mandatory future fee for Alvaro Morata somewhat. So if they could do that, that would be wonderful. And of course he gets his wages permanently off the books as well. I don't know why Fekir went to Betis, but he's there, so we just have to deal with it. I genuinely think he's better than that. Although it's something I realised today is something very amusing, was the fact that Leicester are in a position to be loaning players to Monaco, which is fantastic. Never thought I'd see that day. They've just suddenly got very uninterested. I don't know why. Oh, 3-0. Jimenez. Yeah, so it looks like the shouts operate in a very similar way to last year as well, which is one thing to just to advise you all of. There seems to still be only 3 useful shouts, which is demand more, get creative, show some passion. They're the only 3 that seem to still do anything. Obviously, passion is still a little bit iffy, depending on how you want to react to it. If you're up and show some passion, I think it's still not going to go down well. But demand more, get creative, and still seem to have no downsides. I'd certainly say keep it going. It's 3-0. I'm not really too concerned of a comeback here at this point. They've had 1 shot on target, although that being said, so did Mallorca. Highlight that is starting with them though. We do play a high line and we do play the offside trap, so we are likely to concede every now and then on that factor, particularly against teams that are probably slightly more attacking minded and attacking capable, like, you know, the big ones, Barcelona and what have you. We'll probably go a slightly more conservative approach in those particular games whenever they come up. Probably should pay attention to when those matches are, actually. And make sure we've got a trained tactic that isn't quite so attacking minded for those Madrid, Barcelona games at the very least. So, but we didn't. I thought we were about to intercept that one with Lamar, but we don't. That goes all the way across to Mandy. Oh, Mandy. Nope, resisted that particular urge to launch into Mandy. This probably is going to get squared into us a little bit here. Yes, Correa nicely there. Overlap available. Not needed. 4-0. Now this is what I was kind of expecting from the Mallorca game. How do we not have a better goal difference right now than Vigo Athletic? 4-0. What did they win their games as? I'll just watch this one. Bloody hell. Half volley. That's... Yes, that's bloody hell worthy. I haven't made any changes. They've got Emerson. Why do they have Emerson? We'll see where this highlight goes. If Morata's onside here, I'm not sure. Number 6 might have been playing on. Doesn't make a difference. It's saved. I suspect this is the end of the highlight. Once it's cleared. Felix, 72%. Don't actually have the direct replacement for him on right now. Fairness. Vitola can go in there, I suppose. Stick him in the middle for now. Hermoso can take over Alba, who is the next most tired. We'll probably bring Haaland on just a little bit later on. It's 4-0. There's no real need to do anything. Trippier is exhausted, but we don't have a right back to replace him with. Why is Trippier exhausted? Natural fitness 16, stamina 17. He must have taken a knock that didn't get noticed, because 62% is way lower than anyone else on the pitch. Don't have anyone left who can go there, though, so let's give Haaland a debut. It's a corner for them. Did get slightly confused there for a second. Close. Welcome to the 4th shot for Real Betis. Oh, by the way, you will notice, I forgot to mention it, cosmetically and name-wise, everything's changed. I wasn't sure the names were going to activate, because I'm fairly certain they normally require a new game for that to trigger, but yeah, his fitness actually went up, so he did take a knock, clearly, at some point. But yes, cosmetically and aesthetically, everything has the right names and logos for the time being. Facepack, still not installed yet, but we may work on that one by the next episode. Who knows? You were poor out there. No, we weren't. Good result, good performance, end team talk. That's how the team performs. Clean sheet as well. First clean sheet of the season, which is slightly annoying. Our goal difference is 5. Does La Liga work differently? Huh. I'll have to look into what La Liga's order is, because we have a better goal difference at the very least than the Athletic. So, Getafe have one matter? Nope. Okay. Fair enough. Anyway, thank you for joining us. That's a nice winning start for you, at the very least. We are unbeaten, technically, in the first 3 games. Only 3 teams have won all 3 games, so it's not like we're off the pace. Real Madrid lost a game. They lost to Levante. Oh well, that's one of them. We're doing better then already, so that's good news. But yes, thank you for joining me. Until next time, ta-ra.